everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, January 15th, 2023. Happy birthday, Tony. And do you guys remember the time that Chloe tried to pass off Billy's baby as being Cain's? She totally did that. She is a sneaky sneak, let us not forget. And now it almost seems like she's trying to pass Sally's baby off as being definitely Nick's. Like, no need to question anything about the fact that Sally also slept with Adam. No, no, no. The baby's Nick's. You should tell Nick. Don't bother telling Adam. I mean, Chloe's saying all the right things. Oh, you need to tell the world about your pregnancy, Sally, before the pregnancy tells the world for you. But the subtext is you need to tell Nick, because Nick's definitely the father. Don't even bother considering Adam. Okay. Well, I mean, I did appreciate Chloe trying to make sure that Sally was taking those prenatal vitamins, because I think that Sally is not taking care of herself right now. I think she's so deep in denial right now. She's not even thinking or processing the fact that she is really pregnant. But Chloe did not need to leave the vitamins sitting out on purpose on the table where Nick could see them. Where I think it was the intention for Nick to see them. Oh, no, 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 Chloe. That's just mean. Sally came home from a date with Nick. She had to distract Nick with sex, which is the most effective way to distract Nick. And then she had to carefully shuffle the prenatal vitamins off of the table and into a bag. It's so inappropriate of Chloe. I would kill her if she was my friend. This would be it, honestly. I would stop being friends with her. I would definitely fire her. I just wouldn't want her around me anymore. Everything else that Chloe has done, all of the nagging week after week after week, okay. But this is the thing that I would not have been able to forgive. Homegirls don't bust homegirls out. Billy had his self-proclaimed most mature breakup of his life. And then 10 minutes later, he was sitting on the ground outside of Chelsea's apartment door. How juvenile is that? Totally most mature breakup followed by a completely adolescent thing to do. I mean, it was dramatic. You know, it made for a great visual scene, but I'm thinking, oh, are we going to need to add Billy to the teen vampire club? Do we need to get him some black nail polish and a cape? Maybe a purple velvet cape for Billy? Burgundy. Changed my mind. Oh, I mean, breakups are hard. I get it. And to Billy's credit, he really did try one last time to get Lily to change her mind. I really loved his little chocolate sleight of hand trick, and I was hoping that maybe Billy and Lily might be able to turn it around. But Lily actually ended up making a great point that it feels like Billy walked away from their relationship a long time ago. They're just kind of now catching up to reality. I mean, the fact that Billy went directly from the breakup with Lily to Chelsea says it all. He was camped out on Chelsea's doorstep, and then she took care of him like a baby, and then he fell asleep on her couch. I did actually really like Chelsea's suggestion that, all right, let's just watch a stupid movie and take our mind off of all of this, because Billy had told Chelsea that he and Lily were over, but he didn't want to talk about the details. She asked him, but it was clear he didn't want to be pressed. He maybe just needed a distraction, and so they watched this movie, and it worked. It distracted his mind, so much so that he fell asleep on Chelsea's couch. She covered him with a little blanket, and then he woke up having a nightmare, which she overheard. He was calling out her name, and it's not really hard to put together the pieces of what that nightmare was looking like on the inside of Billy's mind. He went through a traumatic experience, and Billy really has barely talked to anyone about it. One of my most striking feelings over the Chelsea suicide attempt scene was that, you know, maybe Billy's feelings were going to be overlooked, because that's really heavy too. What Billy went through was really heavy too, and I think he needed to talk. I think he talked to Sharon one time. I think some of the ideas that he ended up sharing with Chelsea about, for instance, Delia feeling like he wasn't able to save his daughter, and so it was extremely meaningful that he needed to be able to save Chelsea. I think he said those things to Sharon at one point. But as I'm watching Billy open up to Chelsea, I had the same thoughts that I think I did when he was opening up to Sharon. Why did he never really say any of this stuff to Lily? That's the problem. Lily could have been someone who he opened up to. She really should have been his number one person that he wanted to open up to. But there was kind of a rift going on between Billy and Lily before Chelsea's suicide attempt. It was like this crack. And then the fact that Chelsea had the suicide attempt ended up making the crack become a chasm, and it was just something that Lily and Billy could not leap over. And now, I guess, Billy's free to spend the time with Chelsea that he wants to spend with her, and Lily has time to spend all the time that she wants with Daniel. I mean, Daniel on the surface seems to be the kind of guy that Lily wants. He's driven, he has a purpose, he's funny, he's smart, he's easy on the eyes. I wonder if Adam is going to start to feel annoyed that Billy is hanging around with Chelsea all the time, spending so much time with Chelsea and therefore with Connor. And I also wonder if Billy and Chelsea are going to be spending so much time together, becoming so close, that I wonder if maybe they'll start to see Johnny as their son. Like, will they start to refer to Johnny as their son? I mean, how far is it going to go between Billy and Chelsea? Are they building a little family here? I don't know. So, what was with Victor being so nice to Chelsea all of a sudden? Either Victor Newman has become all soft and squishy in his old age, or he was just hedging his bet, kind of kissing up to Chelsea to make sure that he still has access to Connor, because Victor knows that that is one little bit, in fact maybe the last little bit of power that Adam has over him. I think that's exactly what it was. I think Victor was going to Chelsea to try to hedge his own bet, to make sure he has that relationship with Adam's son, so that Adam can't try to take that away from him, so that Adam can't use that as a bargaining chip or, you know, any kind of leverage. I think Victor wants total domination over Adam, and in fact, all of his kids. The other two just tend to play a little nicer, I think, with Victor. So Adam walked in when Victor was at Chelsea's place, which I totally would be like, what are you doing here, Dad? Yeah. Get out of my room, Dad. Get out of my girlfriend's room, Dad. But yeah, I mean, Adam confronted Victor, which really was just another confrontation in the long line of confrontations that Victor and Adam have been having lately. But then when Adam left, Adam followed Victor to the restaurant and confronted him again. And then when Adam left that confrontation, Victor told Nikki that he's out of control. That boy needs a lesson, and he's gonna get a lesson coming to him. He needs a wake-up call. He needs a massive failure to put him in check. And then on Friday, we saw Victor meeting with Kyle right in front of Adam's face. Meeting with Kyle and secretly talking about how they both mutually want Adam out as Jabot. This should have been built up so much more. We should have been seeing for weeks now rivalry between Adam and Kyle. I mean, they've just both been on two separate planets. This would have been meaningful had Kyle and Adam been rivalrying all along. So that's a big miss for the story, but maybe we're on track for it now. Maybe we can start filling out that fluff now, because first of all, I was just absolutely shocked to see Kyle doing anything other than sweeping up after his mother. In fact, when Victor and he first sat down at the table, Kyle completely assumed that what Victor wanted to meet about was Diane. Like, okay, I'm assuming you want to talk about something having to do with my mother. But no, Adam is Victor's target. And Kyle may very well become an accomplice. Isn't that interesting? I'm wondering if Victor and Kyle are going to try to do the same thing to Adam that Phyllis kind of tried to do to Diane. Sabotage her at work. Ooh, well, wouldn't that be a moral conflict for Kyle? He was so disgusted by Phyllis and the idea that she had taken the job at Marchetti just to sabotage Diane. And now, when you know, he's in the position to do the same thing to Adam. Will he take that deal? I don't know. I mean, Kyle could very well climb up on his high horse and decide not to do it, but I think he will, and I want him to. Because that's where the juicy drama is. And I think it could be great if Kyle and Victor are working real hard to try to set Adam up, but then there's just so much Diane drama going on in the background at Jabot and Marchetti that maybe Jack won't realize who's the actual culprit here. Kind of wondering if there's any chance that Jack might notice that there's something fishy going on at Jabot, which is what Kyle and Victor are doing, but Jack might end up thinking that it's someone like Tucker doing it. I mean, Tucker did get caught with the Jabot financials in his desk drawer this week. Finally, somebody put the smack down on Tucker McCall. Smack, smack! And it was his own son. This was so good. That ringtone ain't fooling nobody. Devon laid out the Audra Tucker connection to Lily, and Lily was like, what? You're fired. You're fired. That was so great. Audra tried to bargain with Devon a little bit, almost in a threatening way, but it wasn't working. Devon completely stood by Lily's decision, fired Audra, and as she walked out the door, this was a really great moment, Audra said to him, gee, it seems, Devon, like you've let a lot of foxes into the hen house lately. You've been played a lot. It kind of makes me wonder how you've gotten as far as you have. And then she turned around, walked out the door and fell backwards into a job with Devon's rival cousin. Well done. Well done, Audra. Yeah, I liked that. I liked seeing Devon put the smackdown on Tucker and Audra putting the smackdown on Devon. Oh, yeah, Devon was insulted, but also it had this great ring of truth to it. I mean, Devon became super powerful and successful because he got an inheritance. He did well with what he was given, and there's nothing wrong with that. But Devon's not the self-made man story in exactly the same way as, for instance, Victor was, or John Abbott was, or Catherine, I guess. Well, no, she inherited it too. So she just passed along the inheritance. But yeah, Devon, I think that was a huge blow to Devon's ego when Audra said that. And I think he used that insult as fuel to fan the flames when he showed up at Tucker's suite. Ashley was standing in the background, by the way. Bed still a mess. It's like Devon walking through the door, raging at Tucker. Ashley's kind of like standing there, like in between them. Bed completely ravished in the background. Did Devon notice that? Did he notice the bed part? He knew Ashley was there. He told Abby later. But did he notice the bed? That's the question. Yeah, Devon really let Tucker have it. He said, I know what you did. You're nothing but BS on top of BS. Any relationship that we have is over. Any relationship that you were gonna have with my son is over. And so you just better leave town now, because I'm gonna make sure that there's no one left here who will ever defend you again. Bryton James is so good. He really is so good. He was on point with that delivery. He was so there for every moment of it. I really wish I could just watch that scene again and again. I mean, for months we've been watching Tucker just pretending to be holier than everyone in his smug socks. And his holy smug socks. And Devon just ripped a new hole right through him. The next day, Devon called Jill on a video call, of course. And he told her that he is tired of this gameplay and he just wants Hamilton Winters back. But there was this great twist where he said, okay, you're not really picking up what I'm saying here. If you don't sell the company back to me, then I'm gonna just become very public about the fact that I don't want this IPO to go through. I'm gonna end up tanking the IPO for you and making you look bad. So give me what I want or else. I liked that. I liked Devon this week. I liked his moves. Jill ended up telling Lily about the whole thing, and Lily freaked out. She was fierce. It was fabulous. I really liked Lily's reactions. I mean, it was also heightened. She has a lot on her plate, though, right now. I mean, she's going through a breakup with her boyfriend, who she lives with. Like, they're gonna have to, like, go through their apartment and break all that stuff up. They had a life together. So she's got that going on with her boyfriend, and now she's kind of having a breakup with her brother's company. So she's just not pulling any punches. She told Devon, you're starting to act a whole lot more like Victor Newman than Neil Winters. Wow. Burn. Invoking the name of Neil to burn Devon for not going along with what she wanted. I don't know. I don't think it's true what she said. I don't think that Devon is becoming any more like Victor than Neil. I mean, that's like way too simplistic anyway. It's not, I mean, Victor's not the devil. Neil was no angel. I mean, Neil was no angel, okay? Let's not forget that. And, there's also the possibility that Neil would approve of what Devon was doing to get his company back. There's also the possibility that Neil would have wanted that and would have sided with Devon. It's not a slam dunk that he just would have gone along with Lily on this. I mean, Lily, I kind of feel for Devon because Lily coaxed him into this merger in the first place under the guise of it being sunshine and rainbows to work with your family at your family business. But then, almost as soon as the merger was done, Lily was trying to partner with Jill to outnumber him. Or it was Jill's idea to start the IPO, but Lily jumped right on. I mean, Jill's her boss. If she doesn't go along, she doesn't have the job. So Lily kind of took Jill's side to save her own butt and left Devon the only one going, well, wait a minute, you said family business, not corporation. And then when Devon did throw up some stink about it, Lily, Lily pretty much said, well, okay, but I'm going to do it anyway. I mean, whether you like it or not, me and Jill have the majority, so unless you give me a really good reason not to go through with it, I'm gonna do it. And then when Devon gave her the reason, the good enough reason, the Tucker sabotage, then that wasn't good enough. And so he pulled a power move. So what? I'm kind of impressed. So I don't even know what's going to happen over at Chancellor Winters now. Remember when it used to have employees? I mean, now it's just Lily, and Billy's gone. Nate's gone. Audra walked out the door this week. Devon's not going to be showing his face around there. There's no one left. All through the scene where Nate and Victoria were interviewing Audra, all I could think of was Elena at home on the couch, having a cup of tea, reading a book, and suddenly getting a chill down her spine, thinking, did my triangle just become a quadrant? How many women do I have to fend off of my hunky, hot boyfriend? Elena got rid of Imani just by pure sheer luck, because Imani was going to consume Nate. And now she has Victoria, and now she has Audra. Oh, Elena and Nate are done. Chances are Elena is just going to bounce right on over to a triangle with Abby and Devon, which I actually find very appealing. I like the idea of an Elena, Abby, Devon triangle. But I don't know. I don't feel passionate about Audra and Nate. Audra's a little bit of a miss for me, I have to confess. She's fine, but she doesn't really excite me. I liked the scene where she told off Devon, but it was more because I liked seeing Devon getting taken down a peg more than that I wanted to see Audra do it, or that I'm really blown away by Audra. Maybe she just needs more screen time and we're going to get it. But I was kind of wondering this week how you guys are feeling about Audra, and I thought that might make an interesting poll question. Do you like Audra? Do you want to keep her, or are you kind of not feeling it, not just sort of over it? If you'd like to vote, go to yrchat.com and you can cast your vote and see what everybody is saying about Audra and her approval rating. Yeah, she told Tucker off, and that was a good scene too. But again, it's sort of like I was more in for the telling Tucker off than the Audra being the one to do it. And also the theme of the week was telling Tucker off. This was telling Tucker off week. Audra just got to participate. But then, Nate walked in on Tucker being in Audra's hotel suite. He was just stopping by his new COO's hotel suite to see how she was doing. And so Audra was forced to tell him everything. But I have to say, again, that scene was more interesting to me from Nate's perspective. I liked watching Nate unravel the truth there. Or like having to, like his different facial expressions. Like, what? Because he ultimately decided to stick by Audra, but I think it's only because Nate's trying to save face. All he cares about is his career and his reputation right now. And Victoria would not think very highly of Nate's judgment if she found out that he hired someone who is known to have worked with a competitor, and not only that, but like to sabotage the company that she was working for, that she's completely capable and willing to sabotage the company that she's working for. And in fact, that's why she got fired from her last job. Like, I mean, Nate just knew that he could not tell Victoria that. He could not tell her why Audra didn't work out. So I think he was just like, okay, well, you still seem good enough. I just cannot rock the boat right now. I need a couple more weeks for me to make my mark, and then Newman will be mine. Newman Media, and the whole thing will be mine. Victoria, too. He's power hungry. Yeah, I mean, Victoria already sees Tucker as being a threat. She's already identified him as being a power player, and she's threatened by him. And so if Victoria finds out that Audra and Tucker have a connection, she's not going to be understanding about it. She's going to be really mad, and I assume she is going to find out eventually. I'm kind of surprised that Victoria wanted to hire Audra at all. But again, Victoria continues to impress me week after week. I mean, she did the right thing when it came to Johnny last week, and she has shown me this week that she is not intimidated by other beautiful, powerful women. I liked that, I mean, because it probably didn't even occur to Victoria that she was going to be competing for Nate's attention very soon. Would you like some Moroccan spiced coffee? I made it just for you. The secret ingredient is sex. And Sharon is extra sexy with everything she's doing right now. Can you see it? Because I can see it. It's an extra pout of the lips. It's a tilt of the head. It's a hand on a curvy hip. She is doing her little Sharon thing, working on Chance, and it is a thing of beauty. Even Abby walked in and saw Sharon and Chance chatting it up, and she said to Chance, "Wow, I almost didn't even recognize you. You were smiling." Yeah. Sharon was serving him some private select Moroccan iced coffee. He was smiling. Oh. All right. Okay, all right. I'm all for Sharon and Chance smiling more. I'm all for Abby and Devon smiling more. And that seems to be the case. Well, I mean, Abby is smiling when she's not feeling guilty. And she, she should feel a little guilty. She did cheat on her husband. Oh, and he did have to see it. So, I mean, she should feel guilty. She tracked Chance down, though, and she wanted to tell him that she was going to move out of the Chance Manch, which would, that is probably the right thing to do. But Chance had a very weird reaction. He said that, he was kind of like, well, are you just going to go move in with Devon now? Well, I mean, it's not a huge logic leap, I guess, that they would be together now. But Abby was very offended by the idea that Chance would think that she would be willing to move on so quickly. You know, the ink isn't even dry on our divorce papers. But, I mean, the fact is she's already slept with Devon again. I mean, she is in the process of moving on. I mean, I think what this speaks to is the fact that Abby has not yet realized that she's moved on. She's sleeping with Devon. She's sleeping over at Devon's apartment. She's only happy when she's with Devon. There's just more going on there than she's willing to admit, and for Devon too. But Chance told Abby that he really did not want her to leave the mansion. I think she's still just clinging on to a shred of hope that maybe he will still want to get back together, and so that's why she agreed to stay. I mean, it was all under the guise of, well, it's for Dom's sake. I mean, whatever, he's a baby. You know, you can move with babies. You're not required to stay in the same house with them. But yeah, I just think I think Abby's staying there because she's holding on to a shred of hope that they're going to get back together. And I think that Chance is not wanting to deal with having to then go to Devon's place instead. I think Chance feels more comfortable doing the Dom drop-off pickups at his family home rather than going to Devon's penthouse and having that awkwardness, which we saw last week. And so that's all very reasonable. I mean, and you know, I think he looks at Devon and Abby together, and he's now kind of seeing them together, raising a family, raising their son, and Chance did have a moment of realization this week, thinking about, you know, did I do something that might have caused turmoil in my marriage? I mean, maybe if I hadn't taken that assignment in Spain and left my wife without a word, just with a note for a year, then maybe my marriage wouldn't have suffered and ended. You think? Maybe if I hadn't run out on my wife for a year with no word, letting her think that I was dead, then things would be different. Wow. How astute of you, Chance. But I did like that Abby pointed out, she's trying to reinforce her commitment to him, saying, you know, that she wouldn't have just stepped out on the marriage. No, it was Chance. He said, you wouldn't have stepped out on the marriage if it was just for a fling. And I think that's a really good point of truth. Like, Abby she wasn't looking to just sleep around. There was something more with Devon. And so maybe now Abby's getting a chance to get that something more, and maybe Chance is going to get a chance to get that something more too. That something more being Sharon. So just go ahead, Chance. Just close your eyes and savor the flavor of Sharon. Let her roll around on your taste buds. You can have her for a little while it lasts. Oh, a broken-hearted Ashley will flee Genoa City once again. Oh. She didn't even get a chance to enjoy her after-sex glow. She finally gave in to Tucker's seduction, which I wanted her to do. She let herself have that pleasure, that satisfaction. And not 5 minutes later, she was rifling through Tucker's desk drawer, probably hoping to find nothing. And instead, she found a file folder on Ashley's beauty line and on Jabot with all of the financials inside that Tucker somehow got his hands on. So she's standing there looking at the file folders when Tucker saunters out of the shower, sees her holding it, and reminds her that she knew all of this all along. But that was her first moment of doubt. I guess it was just more powerful seeing everything in black and white, and then maybe realizing that despite what she has been telling herself for weeks, she let herself be vulnerable with a man who had an agenda. Yeah, I mean, as if her life's not her own. It was just playing out Tucker's plan. And then Devon burst in, and I think it just reminded Ashley of all the reasons she shouldn't be trusting this man. And that's another reason why the Devon bust was so satisfying, because it blew up all of Tucker's dreams in one instant. It wasn't just Tucker's dreams for getting Chancellor Winters and having a relationship with his son. It also blew up his relationship with Ashley, too, in that moment. He might not even have realized it. He thought the conflict was with Devon in that moment, but really it was a total blow-up of his world. On Friday, he came to the Abbott mansion, and it was right as Ashley was getting ready to roll her suitcases out the door. She decided to entertain him, and he tried to convince her to stay, and she did admit to him that she had let herself have feelings for him. But that is not enough. She said, "You're a crappy partner, Tucker." And then she ripped the scarf right out from around his neck. Flung that thing across the room. Was that the moment of the week or what? Whipping that scarf right off of Tucker's neck? I wish somebody would make a gif of that so that I could watch it 100 times. Like, that moment was great. She just whipped it right off. That's a good way for Eileen Davidson to go out if she must. Would love to know if that was pre-rehearsed or, discussed. He had the scarf on when he left. So he, at some point that we didn't see, he did pick it up. Don't worry, he did leave with the scarf intact, but she threw it on the ground and made him pick it up. Oh, so good. It's so good. He's been so smug for so long, and now he's totally devastated. In 1 week's time, Tucker's whole world is blown up. So, if the whole thing is blown up anyway, then yes, let's light it on fire. Tucker ran into Phyllis at everybody's favorite grieving spot, the hottest nightclub in town. Everybody loves to go to glam club to sulk. But he ran into Phyllis there, and Phyllis apparently blew him off screen, because in the next episode they were at Crimson Lights and she was apologizing for blowing him off and trying to take him up on his offer to work together, which he rescinded. But I'm like, wait a minute, come on. We've had a lot of big talk out of Tucker, and I still have yet to see some action. And you cannot tease me by saying, or having him say, that we're going to light some stuff on fire, and then just take it away. Like, if you're going to say, we're going to light something on fire, then I want the fire. Let's light something on fire. Phyllis got some great advice from Daniel. Daniel actually broke his trust with Summer a little bit, broke Summer's confidence a little bit to pass along some information to Phyllis to make her feel better, but more importantly, to help get Mom back on track with Omega Sphere. I just can't get over that name. Omega Sphere. Am I seriously going to have to say that every week? It is totally on point for the type of business that it is. It's just that I feel like such a tool having to say it. I guess Daniel was just trying to keep the peace. He told Phyllis, well, Summer is actually wary of Diane. Don't let her fool you. She's just trying to do everything she can do to keep her marriage together. All is not lost. You should go talk to her. Have a little bit of humility. It can all be fixed. Go do it. And Phyllis actually took that advice. She went over to the Abbott house, but instead of finding Summer there, she found Jack and Diane in a kiss. Of course she did. She came back later and found Summer, and Summer was trying to prepare for her trip to France with Harrison. It was kind of weird that Kyle got all protective over Summer. Like, he didn't want to leave Phyllis and Summer alone in the room together. Like, he was getting all macho about it. And I was thinking, since when did you become a man? Back off. Kyle's basically still a little boy. And that's all we've seen him be for the past several months. He's a little boy. I bet Summer cuts his meat for him. Every night at dinner, she leans over and cuts the meat on his plate for him. Maybe puts the fork in it so he can take the first bite. Ugh. Anyway. Phyllis and Summer tried talking the whole thing out. Phyllis offered to go to Paris with them for some mommy and daughter time, and Harrison, whatever. Phyllis doesn't give two craps about Harrison. That's the joke, but it's true. But Summer kind of softened on the idea. She didn't commit to anything. She just said she was going to keep an eye on it all, and I'm sure that Phyllis is going to end up showing Summer the photo that she took on Friday of Diane and Jeremy on the town together, juxtaposed with her knowledge that Jack and Diane were kissing. I mean, Phyllis thinks this is some explosive information, but it's not. I'm sure that's going to tick Summer off. But Phyllis did show Nikki the explosive information this week, and we got to see Nikki's reaction and Nikki's new haircut. This is new haircut week. Nikki and Noah have new haircuts. Happy new hair! I was happy that Jack and Diane actually acknowledged out loud this week that they're into each other. They want to get it on. Good. Now that we've got that out of the way, we're getting somewhere. Let's celebrate by stealing something. Yes. Jeremy gives Diane a deadline for completing her little assignment. And Diane realizes that there's no way she's going to be able to get on and off of the ranch quickly enough to do it. And there's no way that Nikki's going to, like, help her out with this one. So Jack has an alternate plan. Jack just so happens to know that Nikki and Victor have a pied-à-terre in Chicago. Oh, a pied-à-terre, you say? Don't you mean an apartment? What a freaking pretentious and totally unnecessary way of putting it. A pied-à-terre? Why, Audra? This is Chicago, not France. Get out of here with your pied-à-terre. Nope. Jack's just gonna sneak in there, grab something shiny from Nikki's jewel stash, and bring it back to Diane to present it to Jeremy. What could go wrong? I'm impervious to your charm, said Phyllis to Tucker last week when he was offering her friendship/partnership. I'm impervious to your charm, Tucker. Flash forward to Phyllis sleeping with Tucker in a couple weeks. Well, a lot of people guessed that was Ashley, but not Ron, Naomi, Henry, Nina D, Kenzie, T. Nicole, Victoria, Wonderful Wendy, Jinxie, Sue W, and Heather K. You guys all guessed correctly that the answer was Phyllis. Okay, I love this. This is true. This is the new quote. Control is an illusion. Who said it? Control is an illusion. If you think you know, go to yrchat.com to leave your guess, and if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. Comments time! Let's start with Gary, who says, headline, Burglary 2023. Let Jack take the fall if he thinks this is such a good idea, but not our sweet Diane. Yeah, that's definitely going to be on the cover of the Genoa City, or maybe the Chicago newspapers, Burglary 2023. Burglary in Victor and Nikki's pied-à-terre. I'm sure the cops will race to that one. I'll tell you what, though. If it's not enough that they were pretentious, that Y&R was pretentious enough to call it a pied-à-terre in Chicago, which is not French. Okay, I've watched those streets. I've had a couple of pied-à-terres in Chicago, okay? But on top of it, if they do not show us Jack walking around in that apartment, I'm going to be mad, because this is going to be a fantastic opportunity for Peter Bergman. I mean, let Peter Bergman walk around in the set and let's watch Jack steal this. This has to happen. And I would love to see Jack get in trouble with the cops. I'd love to see Jack get like a mugshot. Like, this is Peter Bergman rich. This is using the Peter Bergman resource if they get it right. I'm afraid that they're not. I'm afraid that he's going to come back and walk into society and say, sorry, Diane, I wasn't able to get it. Like, just report failure. Like, there was too many old security guards who've been there for 30 years. You know how that building has got the same security guards from 30 years ago, and they'll definitely remember me from when I was married to Nikki 30 years ago. But you know what? They replaced all the security. He's going to come into society and say, no, you know what? They just recently replaced all the security guards with new people. So I wasn't able to get in. So instead of my boss idea where we could see Jack Peter Bergman stealing the jewels, we're going to get him coming in and reporting that they got new security guards at the pied-à-terre terrace apartments. All right. The writing is on the wall. Victoria says, this whole thing sounds like a setup for a Marx Brothers skit. Jeremy Stark has been a disappointment as of late. Letting Diane choose her own assignment was a letdown. If he's horrible and ruthless as rumored, why wouldn't he give her an impossible task to perform, which would benefit him? This would really have tested Diane. I'm sure Nikki's bauble will not amount to the money that Jack promised. If he just wanted arm candy, why give it a test at all? Okay, well, my theory is that it's foreplay. In his mind. In his mind, he's totally intrigued by the sexiness of Diane, which she's giving. You know, you notice the way she sits down with him and drinks a drink around him. Like, she's giving, you're going to get sex. She's implying through body language that there will be sex here. And so he's, you know, volleying back to watch. You know, he wants to see her do this little sexy dance. This is like a foreplay thing between them. And it seems like next week he's ready to cash in on that deal, and she seems prepared to give it, and I'm all for it. I'm sorry, but like after this week, I'm totally turned around on Jeremy Stark. I'm like, I don't care what he does. That man is handsome. So I actually think he and Diane have a lot of really good chemistry, and I would love to see a Jack, Diane, Jeremy triangle. Also, Victoria, I have to tell you, this is off topic, but I have been, over the past maybe month or two, working my way through the complete Marx Brothers movie collection. I'm a huge Marx Brothers fan. I love it. I love them all individually, and I love them together, and it just warms my heart that you mention it. And if you're looking for some funny, it's so, I mean, these movies are from the 30s and 40s. They are as funny as if they were made from today. I mean, it's like you can watch it today and it's like, this is completely funny. None of it is irrelevant. I mean, you know, times have changed obviously, but it's not humor that has expired in any way. Yeah, Marx Brothers. I really like Duck Soup. I really like Go West. Those are probably my two favorites so far, and I have a huge crush on Harpo. I mean, they're all. This is basically a continuation of my Monkeys. I'm evolving backwards. Like I watched all my Monkeys episodes, got all into every single album they ever did, which I've been a Monkeys fan for a long time, but then I evolved backwards into the Marx Brothers. Harpo's hot. I mean, all three of them have their charms, but oh my God, Harpo Marx. Ugh. All right, Allie. All right. T. Nicole says, "Oh no, Jack. Months ago you said you were only putting up with Diane for Kyle's sake, and now you're stealing from Nikki for her." I agree with Summer. Yes, Phyllis brought Jeremy to town, but this is still Diane's mess, and seriously, you think your only option is to commit a crime to get Jeremy to trust you and then have him do money laundering again and then call in his crimes to get him arrested again? It sounds like a plan that nothing can go wrong with. If Victor throws Jack and Diane legal charges for theft, they can't blame Phyllis for this one. This is all Diane's risky plan. Oh, God, that's a great comment, T. Nicole. Here's another great comment. Actually, Diana says, "Please forgive my late comments this week, Allie. I joined a gym and have not had as much energy to join the chat. As I'm writing this, though, wouldn't it be awesome to see the character of Tracy want to get in shape for the new year? Maybe she hires a personal trainer to help her achieve her fitness goals. And the trainer is hot, of course, and Tracy, and he begin a steamy romance. Tracy has always got all the hot men in town from the show, from Brad to Danny to Kane. It's been far too long since Tracy had a romantic partner on the show. We need to see the Abbott sisters having some fun and excitement in their lives." Oh my gosh, this is so good. I could just see Tracy with her personal trainer and like a cute workout outfit. I mean, show her body. I think Tracy is beautiful, and I'm not saying that in like a, let me boost up the big girl. I'm a former big girl. I mean, I lost 100 pounds. You can look back at my early videos. So I think big bodies are beautiful, and I think you got to feel good about it, and you got to work it, and you got to like see those curves, and it feels good to make that progress. And I could see Tracy like maybe getting like a sexy workout outfit and getting in there with a hot personal trainer. Like, yeah, isn't that what people want to see? Like real, a little bit of real there. But also, Diana, I have to say congratulations to you for getting your gym membership. I was never a gym person, and then I joined a gym purely for my daughter, because they had a program for her, and then over time I've realized that I really like it for myself, and it really makes me feel better physically to be active. Because there's like, the weight control element of it, but then there's also just the active lifestyle element, the heart health, and and also the social element of it too. I mean, you get to know people there, and you can interact with actual human beings there. So congratulations. I hope you love it, and I hope you keep it up. Please keep us posted on your progress. Okay. Tina B says, "Eileen Davidson is just incredible. Every scene she was in, whether with Tucker or Jack or Abby, my eyes were glued to the screen. Is she leaving again? Tucker is intriguing. His explosive temper, his downcast looks when vulnerable. I can't wait to see how he's going to redeem himself." Hold on, let me pause there. Is Eileen Davidson leaving the show for a while now? Because when Phyllis and Nikki had their meeting at Crimson Lights, I think Phyllis said something like, Ashley's out of town for a few weeks. So is Eileen Davidson gone for like the rest of the year, or is she going to come back in a few weeks like Phyllis said? And also, yeah, this is very interesting. Tucker's definitely going to be on his apology tour now. We're going to have to see the redemption of Tucker along the way. But I almost don't even want to go there. I'd rather see him really burn it down. I mean, there's nowhere to go but up, but we don't have to be in a hurry to get there. Also, Tina B says, "I'll be on a cruise next week, and I won't be able to catch up on my Y&R until I get back. I'm heading to Costa Maya, Belize, Honduras, and Cozumel. Think of me sipping cocktails on a Mexican beach or poolside. Work hard, play hard. Tina B, yes. I've been to Cozumel, so I'm going to imagine me and you on the beach in Cozumel. That's so nice, a cruise. It seems like people are doing all kinds of nice things for themselves for New Year's. Why don't you guys, everybody, anybody, leave me a message and let me know what you're doing nice for yourself to kick off 2023. Diana also says, I hope Ashley decides not to leave town and she realizes that she's in too deep with Tucker now. I would love to see Ashley and Tucker's relationship grow. They're one of my favorite couples on the show. I hope Ashley can find it in her heart to forgive Tucker, as I believe he truly does care for Ashley. Ashley revealed to Abby that she was falling for Tucker again. I feel like Ashley will forgive Tucker as a part of the trend, or as a art of the attraction she has for him, and that their relationship is not boring. Tucker's a bad boy, which keeps Ashley on her toes, and the spark in their relationship. Well, I mean, I think it seems like a foregone conclusion that she's gone for now, but I think it's possible that by the time she comes back, if she comes back, Tucker could be involved with Phyllis a little bit, and maybe we can get the Ashley-Tucker-Phyllis triangle going there. That would be pretty hot. Also, what was I going to say on that? Oh, I liked that you mentioned the scene between Ashley and Abby. That was very good. I liked that they were both brokenhearted. And one of my alternate lines for Who Said It this week was something about our stupid hearts, or, you know, I've lost it now. I lost my paper, but, yeah, our stupid hearts. They just had this, like, really great mother-daughter bonding, but they were also bonding as women, you know, who had recently had heartbreak, and I thought that was a meaningful scene. I'm glad that you mentioned it. Well, Naomi says, Devon is always good to watch, even when he's irritating. In my opinion, he is still that street kid that Drew and Neil adopted. Just lives in a better neighborhood and has nicer things. He sure didn't like Audra saying he'd been played. I say he actually wasn't played because most of the business stuff was decided against his better judgment. Lily and Jill were overruling Devon on everything. They should thank Devon for his cautious approach because it probably saved the company. You're right, Naomi. They should be thanking Devon. Tina Gold says, I agree. Devon was actually able to find out that Audra was Tucker's mole and expose them. Lily and Jill should be thanking him profusely for saving them from losing it all. Lily told Devon, give me a legit reason why we shouldn't consider the IPO, and he did. That's totally, it's, you know, that's true, though. Because if Devon hadn't exposed that, they would have just gone public without him. And Tucker would have got the company. So, yeah, it's kind of just, I mean, I didn't think of it, but Lily maybe should have. Maybe that'll all come out in the wash. There's some preview for next week where Devon was giving Abby an update. So I'm assuming we're going to find out whether or not they agree to release Hamilton Winters. And who knows, maybe the whole thing will twist in another direction by next week. But I do like Angry Lily, and so does Ellen, who says Angry Lily is awesome. Let it rip. She has had to be the calm, controlled, diplomatic person in the room for too long. I like this side of her. Stay mad. Yeah. And you know what? Lily has had to be the calm, controlled, diplomatic person in the room. Not only in her business relationships, but in her personal relationships too. And so it is nice to see her let loose a little bit, let rip a little bit. Oh, hey, about Billy and Chelsea, Gary says, I know my psychology. And Billy and Chelsea are codependents. I think that's true. I think that's true. They've been through a trauma and now they're codependent on one another. Victoria says, not that what Chelsea did was wrong, but sometimes doing nothing is the most powerful thing you can do. Filling up all the silence with talking and movies didn't give Billy a chance to begin processing his grief. I can understand Chelsea needing to help. It feels so helpless when someone is suffering, but both actors did a great job of showing this. That's interesting. I didn't think of it that way, that you didn't like that she was kind of distracting him with the movie. You thought he needed to face it, and he did ultimately. Well, last week I asked you guys, who's the baby daddy? No surprises here. 86% of you are correct in predicting that Adam will be the baby daddy. Only 14% thinking that it'll be Nick. Oh, it just feels like the writing's right on the wall. It's so Adam's baby. There's no story if not. Tony says, Allie, you just asked the question and then said it yourself. I thought both. CBS soap watchers might remember Guiding Lights. Blake had twins of Ross and Rick. That was a fun story and a good plot twist we've all requested. And Sally doesn't have to tell anyone there's twins. She can keep Nick's or Adam's and say truthfully it's his, and give the other to Mariah. That story could carry on into the future. It could be complicated, but that's my vote. Both, yeah, Adam and Nick. Both being, she has one baby that's Adam's, one baby that's Nick. You know, that could be pretty soapy and crazy. You know what it is that maybe I don't love about the story too is that Sally's not, she's so hip and fun and fresh and free. I don't want to see her ruined by motherhood. Jamie says, dark but possible. Does anyone feel like Sally might get an abortion? I was thinking that too. Or a miscarriage. Henry says, I feel you, Jamie, but I think Sally may unfortunately lose the baby as a result of a miscarriage. I just don't envision her as the motherly type. And yes, I do believe Adam's the father, and I believe Sally has no doubt that he is. Oh, yeah. Oh, you think Sally knows? Maybe she's done the timing, and she just knows it's Adam's. But yeah. So, miscarriage, and I just think she's not, I mean, anybody can be the motherly type, but I just thought the show was going to go in a different direction with her. She hasn't been on long enough to be the mom. Sally's still kind of new on the show, right? I mean, she's only been there a couple years. I feel like we should get to see her have fun a little while longer. Oh, how about this? Sue W. says, I can see such the soapy scenario. Sally about to have an abortion when Adam bursts through the clinic doors and proclaims that she's carrying his baby. He scoops her into his arms and carries her off into the Genoa City sunset, leading to them becoming a deliriously happy family with all three of them when little Adam Jr., or Little Hope, is born. All of this happens only, of course, because Nick, knowing of the baby and the true paternity, becomes the self-sacrificing of his Sally sex relationship hero, tipping Adam off to the whole thing solely for the greater good of those written in stars, crazy kid, true love, Adam and Sally. And it all gets wrapped up with a nice soapy celebration bow with Chloe shaking her head as the beaming godmother. Nick gets kudos and starry eyes from Sharon, and Victor is seething in the background. Ah, true love. Part 2, Phyllis learns she has a new grandchild. How's Phyllis? Hold on. That's the part I'm trying to piece together. I know you've got something there, and dang it, I can't piece it together on the fly. I'll think of it about an hour from now. But I like the scenario. I think the viewers, it seems like the majority of the viewers like Sally and Adam together better than Sally and Nick. I'm still kind of leaning on wondering if she's going to miscarry, though. But I don't know. Well, let's talk about Victor, because Sherrod says so. Victor's plotting his son's downfall because he has the nerve and self-respect to leave a toxic family. What kind of parent wants their adult child to fail so that they'll come running back to them? Answer: a shameless, sick, narcissistic dictator. But notice, this is only with Adam. When Victoria and Nick tell him to back off, he does. In the past, I criticized Adam for going after his father, but the next time he aims his gun, I hope he doesn't miss. Why does Victor back off? Why is it different with Nick and Victoria? Because Nikki. That's probably it. Because Nikki keeps Victor from going in too hard on Victor and Nick. Nikki ends up softening him up and saying, "That's children, Victor." But Adam doesn't have that. He doesn't have the mother to soften his dictatorish father. But you know, it's true. What kind of parent wants their adult child to fail so that they'll come running back to them? Oh yeah, man. Never. That's a really great way of putting it. Daisy says, I don't know that Victor will be successful in taking everything away from Adam. Adam knows his father, so he may figure it out before anything happens. And when he does, Adam will make Kyle cry. That's the part I'll be looking forward to, Adam making Kyle cry. Yeah, it looked like Adam might be able to figure all this out. He was in the background watching Kyle and Victor together. He's gonna, I mean, it's sort of a little obvious, really. I think maybe Victor should have rescheduled the dinner meeting to go to a place where Adam is not all the time. At the bar, drinking alone. Running into people who sort of berate him. That's all he does. Well, Sherrod also says, I just wanted to pass along some information about the death of Quinn K. Rediker. That's Rex Sterling from Y&R. He's Danny Romalotti's father and was married to Catherine Chancellor. And he passed away on December 20th, 2022 at the age of 86. Yeah, I remember Rex. I do remember Rex. He was married to Catherine when I first started watching the show. And he loved her. That's what I remember. I remember just, he loved Catherine. He was always doting on her. That's where I picked up the story, you know, Catherine's story, being married to Rex. Gary says, I'm aware of Quinn Rediker off screen, and he was far more charming than Rex Sterling could ever be. He would look directly at you with a sparkle in his eye and wink with you when appropriate. I can't believe it when people do that. It really doesn't seem that long ago that he played Rex Sterling, but it was in the later, very early years that I was surprised when Allie revealed she had never known him as Catherine's husband. No, wrong. What I revealed was that I only knew him as Catherine's husband. You go on to say, originally, Jill found Quinn Rediker as a tramp on a park bench, not named Chancellor Park at the time, giving him the fantasy name, Rex Sterling, to go and pull a scam over Mrs. Chancellor. Yeah, that's the part that I didn't know. I always only knew Rex as Catherine's doting husband, and I didn't ever know, you know, I mean, I didn't experience the story and the way that Jill brought him to town. I didn't then also experience the connection between he and Danny. And is he Gina's father too? I'm not sure. But yeah, so that was all before my time. But I'm sorry to hear of his passing. He was 86. Boy, that's a good long run. And I like, Gary, your personal story that he gave you a little sparkle in the eye and a little wink. Well, Sherrod says, I know our Allie, that's me, did a poll about what we wanted for Allie, the character on the show. I'm not sure we're going to get to see any of them. It seems that Kelsey Wang has removed her Y&R profile from her Twitter bio. I'm wondering if she's decided to leave the show. Instead of accepting a recurring role, she was on recurring with General Hospital, and then she was offered other roles but turned them down because she never knew when the show would need her. And she stated in an interview that she missed out on some opportunities. So I guess maybe she didn't want to do that again with Y&R. I'm going to be honest, I feel like Y&R gaslighted the audience with Allie. She was a temporary fix to get Noah out of the bad light that the show's writers were putting him in with Tessa. Yeah, Sherrod, I think that's true. I think Allie, unfortunately, ended up just kind of being a tool. You're right, to boost Noah's character, but also to boost Jack's character, too. Why didn't they follow through with Allie? I mean, you know, again, I don't know any official word about whether or not she's ever going to be on any episodes again. I mean, this week Noah was talking to Nick about his relationship with Allie and saying everything's good, so I don't know how they're gonna write her out, if they're gonna write her out, if they're gonna keep her on recurring. I mean, I don't know officially any of that. They never say officially any of that. People are just here one day and gone the next. But they sure missed a big, wide open opportunity for Allie as Jack's granddaughter, as Chemo's daughter. I think she was. I think they could have done more with her. And, you know, here's the thing, too. It's like, I think I would rather have, this is tough, but I think I'd rather have Allie over Audra. What do you think of that? Allie or Audra? Who would you rather keep? Audra's the obvious, like, you know, I'm the power-hungry sex bomb. But Allie, if used correctly or if written for correctly, I think could be more interesting. I mean, we've seen the sex bomb before, the power-hungry sex bomb before. And it works, you know, but Allie just had potential to be something different. She was a little more graceful, a little more elegant, and, you know, simple, and she had a different temperament. And yeah, I know it's boring, and I agree, it was boring, been boring with Noah, but I think it's less, I think it's more just a missed opportunity with the character than, like, the actress. I just think we had an opportunity and we missed it. Here's another one. Okay, let's get into our 2023 predictions, which are closed now. So, or they, yeah, I think they are closed now. Yeah, I closed them. So, I asked you guys where you think we're going to be in the year 2023, and I got some really good responses again this week. But this is it. These are the final predictions that I'm going to read, and then we're going to talk about it again at the beginning of 2024 and see which of these came true. But Diana predicts that Allie's mother will turn out to be Mary Jo Mason, bringing her back onto the show. That causes friction between Jack and Diane as Mary Jo tries to win Jack's affections. I love this idea. I love the idea that Allie is the daughter of Mary Jo and Chemo. It's consistent storyline-wise. It also, you know, it just feels like it's plausible. It keeps Allie on the show. It gives us another vixen. I really liked the actress who played Mary Jo Mason. So I love this prediction all the way around. Heather K says, how about some Victor lovin' with Diane? Or an Abbott sister, bringing up Nikki to go back with Jack. Hey, so Victor and Nikki not forever in stone for you. You're okay to break up Nikki and Victor to send her back with Jack? Wow. Okay, because I just can't think. I don't think I can handle another Nikki and Victor breakup. I don't know what that would do to me. But, I mean, you do make a good point. What about hooking Victor up with Diane or an Abbott sister? I would say Tracy, but I would never want to do that to her. Tracy gets the sexy personal trainer. Let Ashley or Nikki have Victor. Jamie says, I think Diane is going to genuinely fall for Jeremy Stark and go all the way back to her roots. Jack will end up all alone and pining for Phyllis, who will be completely done with him. Oh, I wish Diane would fall for Jeremy Stark. And I kind of wish she would go all the way back to her roots. Yeah, that's great. Gary actually agreed with a prediction of Sharad's from last week that caught my eye too, that Diane will die in 2023. I saw that prediction and I thought, you know, I can really see that. I could see maybe the actress being ready to maybe be done for a little bit, like, hey, thanks, we had a really good run, this is great, but I'm ready to do some other things now. And then maybe there's another death and it's like, is she faking again or is she really dead? So I could see that in 2023. T. Nicole thinks that Summer will try to legally adopt Harrison with the help of Christine when Tara comes back to town. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea, and it gives Summer some spotlight. Sue W. predicts that Daniel's gaming venture for Chancellor Winters will be an epic fail when it comes to light that he doesn't know nor can possibly implement diddly about it. And then he spirals into my already predicted Lily obsession. So you think Daniel's not going to turn out to be all that he says he is, or that I need him to be? That's very inconsiderate of you, Sue W. Did you think about how I would feel about that prediction? I think Daniel is going to turn out to be every bit as sexy and slick and wonderful in every way that I already think he is. I need Daniel to stay exactly what he is. More of exactly the same, please. Lynn4283 says, I predict by the end of the year that Amanda will make her return with Devon's child. My other prediction is that Abby will end up pregnant with Devon's child by the end of the year. Devon has so many babies. Yeah, he should have that. I love the idea that Amanda returns to town and she's like, and I have your kid. But doesn't mean Michelle Morgan has to stay around. She can just come back with the kid. Yeah, that'd be really good. And if it was happening at the time when Abby's pregnant again with another Devon baby? That's so many Devon babies. Well, I'll end on this prediction of my own. And as with most of our predictions, I think some of these are sort of more like wish lists than predictions. But here's mine coming at ya. I predict that in 2023, we will find out that Chemo is alive and that he's working with Tucker. Okay, everybody. I did it. I'm obviously a little bit sick. It came on. It just came on. But I did it. I did a Y&R chat. Anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I also meant to say last week too, thank you so much for, you guys always leave me nice comments about Y&R Chat. Sharon left me a really nice comment a couple weeks ago. Tony left me a very nice comment. And again, happy birthday, Tony. And I mean, you guys are always, Ellen, you guys just are so kind to me, and it's very encouraging to keep it all going. So I meant to say, as part of my new year, that I just wanted to thank you all for the compliments and stuff that you give to me, and I hope that you enjoy the Y&R chat that I have given to you. And go to yrchat.com to leave your comments, vote in the poll, see all the stuff there, and I will see you hopefully in a little bit better health next week. I love you guys. Bye.